I'm just asking you guys to read it. Nothing in this resolution shall be construed to interfere with MCL 168.931K, which allows, guys, it allows a person to disseminate campaign literature on election day when a person is beyond 100 feet from an entrance.
So you were asked to leave, okay? Do you understand that? So you were asked to leave. Are you willing to leave? Yes or no? Are you willing?
No. Stop! Get off of me! Get off of me! My child is in the car! Stop!
On Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, outside the Layton Township offices in Allegiant County, Michigan, attorney and activist Catherine Henry has just been arrested. The local police officers are treating her aggressively. She has just been handcuffed and dragged away.
Hey, I have this deputy here who says that he's arresting me and he's towing my car.
I'm asking you to leave, and if you won't leave, then you will be arrested.
He's saying that the
I asked for
township
your ID. Yes.
I'm sorry. Just
I asked for your ID. I don't. That's not how it works. You're very full
you
of
already
yourself.
are violating the law.
I'm not violating any law.
You're violating the law.
I asked you for your ID. You did not get it.
You are not even following the resolution from the county or from the township.
Okay.
The one that you guys gave us earlier, the one that you were reading from. Did you read it?
No.
It says you can't stop us.
No,
you're not touching my car.
Yeah, we're gonna.
No, you're not.
So are you willing to leave? Yes
It's
or no?
You have no right to do this.
Are you willing to leave?
You do realize it's abusive process and malicious prosecution.
Okay.
Yes, you're violating federal. I don't care. You're on the hook, not him.
No preference? Okay.
You have no right to do this to me, Rod. You guys can hear me if anybody is out there. I have Sheriff's Deputy Langlois from the Allegan County Sheriff's Department saying he's going to arrest me and he's going to tow my car because we are here.
Catherine Henry is outside collecting signatures for a ballot, but the sheriff deputies are coming in to investigate. Deputy Langlois has already violated the law. He is threatening to arrest her and tow her car away.
So he's here trying to arrest me. This is our setup. So we are nowhere near the 100-foot mark, which is the drain in the road, right between where that silver truck and that car are pulling out. That's the 100-foot mark where you can't be past it in the other direction, because those doors right there are the doors to get into the precinct. And the law clearly says we can't be within 100 feet. We also can't be impeding anybody from getting in. So they are, he says, going to arrest me if we don't leave right now, because the township owns this property and the township said that we have to leave. Funny thing is, the township has a resolution that specifically says we have the right to be here. And he doesn't want to read the resolution again. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to read the law or the constitutional provisions that allow us to be here.
This lady lawyer knows her rights. The law permits her to petition as long as she is at least 100 feet from a polling station. Deputy Langlois, on the other hand, isn't willing to hear her out.
Okay, so you're aware, I know you two have already met, so this is Mary Lou, she's the township supervisor.
I know.
Okay? So she already spoke with you.
I know, earlier today.
Okay.
And then I went back and we kind of came up
She
with
has something to say.
Okay.
Okay.
I explained to you that we have this resolution that's going to not allow.
No, it says you do. It says you do. I'm just asking you guys to read it. Nothing in this resolution shall be construed to interfere with MCL 168.931K, which allows, guys, it allows a person to disseminate campaign literature on election day when a person is beyond 100 feet from an entrance.
We're not contesting MCL 168.
No. It's saying we have a right. It says this resolution says we have a right to be here. We're allowed to be here as long as we're beyond the 100 feet. That's what it says.
That part has nothing to do with this part.
What part?
You may not leave a vehicle on township property beyond the time necessary to transact township business.
But it says right here that nothing in this is meant to.
But that does not say anything about leaving a vehicle on township property beyond township business hours.
So you were asked to leave, okay? Do you understand that? So you were asked to leave. Are you willing to leave? Yes or no?
So all of you, let's see, this is Deputy Bustle. Am I saying that correct?
Anderson. Yep.
Deputy
Langlois.
Anderson.
Anderson. Yep.
Deputy Bustle, Deputy Anderson, and Deputy Langlois.
You're told within my constitutional right to sign
are telling me that they're going to arrest me.
Yes or no?
Okay,
Can I
get away from me a little bit. You don't have to-
hold on a second? I know you just came, and I'm trying to be calm, but as you can tell, I'm a little. Just give me, sir. Let me finish the sentence. Can I ask you 5 minutes? Can I ask you for 5 minutes to talk about what the law actually says?
You've already talked to the supervisor. They've asked you to
She
leave.
has no right to stop me from being
Are
here.
you willing to leave? Yes or no?
You have no right to. You're violating the law.
Okay, we have a right to ask you.
Can you? No, you
The
don't.
prosecutor's is on board with the trespassing.
I don't care what the prosecutor says. You can't trespass.
Are you willing to leave?
I'm asking if you're willing to look at the
Are you
law.
willing to leave?
Possibly if you look at the law.
Okay. This has nothing to do with what she's requesting you.
Yeah, but she can't override the law.
Are you willing to leave?
This is Mary Lou, I can't read her last name, clerk of Layton Township. So also someone who's violating her rights.
More police officers stream into the scene. These ones are even less cooperative than the previous deputies. She's collecting signatures in order to amend the Michigan Constitution and restrict the powers of the Michigan governor. But these three particular police officers, Deputy Bussell, Deputy Anderson, and Deputy Langlois, have no respect for our democratic rights and freedoms. Instead, they are insisting that Catherine's car is parked illegally on their premises.
I will leave right now.
You've already had your
My
opportunity.
child is in the. I will leave right now.
The deputies pin Catherine's hands behind her back, place her in handcuffs, and drag her to jail for trespassing. Catherine's democratic rights have been violated.
So did you end up going to jail, or did it all end where we saw it in the video? And then what ends up? I heard your charges were dropped after all that. So can you bring us up to speed on where things stand right now?
Yeah. So that day, they apparently were telling the public that was calling the Allegan County Sheriff's Office that I wasn't charged, I wasn't arrested. I was arrested, but I wasn't booked at the jail. So I was let to go, take my daughter home, and I was able to go vote myself. And then, of course, the very next morning, get medical care for my injuries. But the deputy, he wrote up the ticket initially as a civil infraction, but there is no civil infraction for trespassing. So he modified it illegally before filing it with the court, and he changed it to a criminal misdemeanor. Then the way that it was done, and I was never served with the modified ticket or anything like that. So I was never served with the misdemeanor. They violated my rights left and right. The court wouldn't give me a date on a motion to dismiss until 2 months in. And I tried to bring up some of the important issues at the arraignment in January. They kept the public out of all the hearings, literally did not let any public in, did not let my husband in. They denied me assistance of counsel outright. I had an attorney in the courtroom with me on February 4th, 2021, and the judge ordered him to leave the courtroom.
Why?
Because he said he didn't want any witnesses. And I'm like, what are you going to do to me? Why do you want no one in here? The judge was live streaming, and he claimed that was the public access, but literally you weren't allowed to record the live streams. He denied any media from coming in.
Wait, why would he say you can't have a witness if he's live streaming?
Well, he immediately deleted every single hearing immediately as soon as it was done. So they live streamed it, made it publicly accessible, but then immediately deleted it and did not let anybody into the courtroom. Now, here's the thing.
Who was in there? You and the judge?
And the prosecuting attorney and the bailiff. Yep.
And wouldn't let you have an attorney, and he said because he didn't want you to have a witness? This seems very weird.
Oh, yeah. I have the transcripts. So on 2 occasions, they wouldn't even let my husband into the building. Literally did not let my husband. The first time in January for my arraignment, they didn't let Lori, who's my assistant, or my husband, or anyone that they knew was a supporter of me. Some people had shown up with us and were at the door. They wouldn't let any of them into the building and almost denied me. They were trying to deny me access.
In the end, they didn't book Catherine, but they did arrest her. She has received injuries from a rough treatment, and she needed medical care the day after her arrest. The deputy illegally altered the ticket, changing it to a criminal misdemeanor. The hearings haven't even been made public. Even Catherine's husband isn't allowed to attend.
Anyway, but this is the weirdest stuff. I haven't heard ever anything like this, so this is very odd to me.
There were many other things that they did. So I have a hearing disability. When people wear masks, I read lips as my main form of communication. And even with, switching to these online hearings or implementing all kinds of COVID policies, even in the midst of that, the Supreme Court of Michigan clearly repeated to the trial courts, like, hey, you have to, if somebody has a disability and they need to be physically present, if they have a hearing disability, if they need to be able to read lips, all those things, they literally said you have to look at that person's individual disability and make a proper assessment so that you're not violating their rights.
Catherine has a hearing challenge. In the courtroom, these rights too are being violated.
They denied me my request for ADA accommodations after already approving it twice in 2 different hearings, denied me. So when I was physically present, they had masks on and they hid behind plexiglass. And so sound was not traveling well and I couldn't read lips. It was awful. So there are so many ways that they denied my rights. I actually filed an interlocutory appeal as the case was pending in spring of 2021, and the circuit court judge doesn't know the law or the Constitution at all, or court rules. I appealed it to the Michigan Court of Appeals, and in a 1-sentence denial, they just said, well, we're not convinced we have to get involved right away. And I'm like, I just gave you literally 75 reasons why case precedent and court rules and the Constitution says you have to get involved. I was devastated. I think he actually started to read some of my motions, though, because one of the things I filed a motion on was that I had the right to have open hearings and be physically present and have people in the courtroom. And so he actually did finally allow me and other people to be in the courtroom. It was the first time my husband had been allowed in the courtroom.
Wow.
First time any of them had been allowed in the courtroom.
Finally, they are allowing Catherine and even her husband and other people to be present in the courtroom.
The judge finally agreed that they had no legal basis to remove me from the property that day. And so he dismissed both charges. I'm in the process now of getting the rest of the records. I have to get the whole time they're violating my rights and doing this, stretching this out. They kept putting my personal protected information on documents, which is against the court rules. So I've had to make motions multiple times to have my information redacted. So now I have to fill out a bunch of forms to get my personal driver's license number and other identifying information redacted. So I'm in that stage right now, but they do this all the time.
The prosecutors fought tooth and nail to get her convicted, but the judge has finally agreed that they had no legal basis to remove her from the property that day.